Hello, hello, and welcome to the Grocery Shop for Free podcast. It's your host, Aaron Farmer, and I am flying solo today. My lovely co-host, Diane, is feeling under the weather still. So we are going to be all alone. Just me and, I don't know, 400 to 500 of my closest friends, depending on how many of you guys listen to this podcast. Today's podcast topic is something that is very, it's a topic I know a lot about. And what we're going to discuss today is what to do when being frugal and saving money just doesn't come naturally to you. And the reason why this is so near and dear to my heart is because being frugal doesn't really come naturally to me. I'm naturally a spender. My wife is naturally a spender. We find it difficult to, to put money aside and to have money, spend less and have money for a rainy day. And I know it can be frustrating if you're kind of a naturally spender to be around people who are naturally savers. My oldest son is just naturally a saver. He doesn't spend money on things that he doesn't absolutely need. He puts money aside. He's got money in the bank. He's just that kind of guy. My brother-in-law's wife was telling me one time that her oldest daughter growing up was naturally a saver. In fact, she told a story that I always thought was hilarious. She said that on Halloween, her daughter would go and, get all the candy and everything for Halloween, but she wouldn't eat any of it. She would go home and bag it up into these little like gift bags and then take it to school the next day and start selling it to her classmates, for 50 cents a bag or whatever. And, it's free candy for her. She got 50 cents a bag and she was able to have some money. That's the kind of stuff that if you're naturally a saver, that comes easy to you. I would have eaten all the candy. That's what comes easy to me. I very much whatever feels good right now, that's what I want to do. And if you're naturally a spender, if you find it difficult to save and to be frugal, I feel your pain, and I want to try to help you. I want to try to give you some of the tools that I've used over the years to help. And I'm by no means perfect at this. In fact, I'm far from it. But there are a few things that you can do and that we can do together to try to make this an easier process of being frugal and, wanting to save money. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is it's not going to be a practical tip. This is very much a kind of a spiritual heart check type of tip. Now, this is not a Christian podcast. I am, however, a Christian. A lot of the ways that I think, a lot of the ways that I talk are, influenced by, having been a Christian for the last 30, 40 years or however long it's been. And so if you're not a Christian, I understand. Just bear with me. That these tips are good, but they're going to sound at times a bit religious. But the first thing that we're going to talk about is find your joy. And the reason why this is important is because I believe that human beings are by nature joy-driven people, joy-driven creatures. That we, from right out of the womb, we do what will bring us the most joy. And that's really the fundamental difference between people who are naturally spenders and people who are naturally savers, is people who are naturally savers find much more joy in the security of having money in the bank and, having, long-term plans for the money. And people who are naturally spenders find much more joy in whatever it is that they're going to buy right now. And that's really the core of the difference between savers and spenders. So if you're naturally not a frugal person, then the problem is what you find joy in. And it's something that you've got to kind of look inward and figure out, why it is that you find more joy in having the stuff that's right in front of you now. Why is spending $3 a day on a Starbucks coffee more joy bringing to you than taking that $3 and putting it in a savings account? What is it that's doing that? Is it the sugar? Is it the fact that you have the money and you want to spend it? Is it, is it the, just that little thrill that you get when you buy something? What is it that the reason that you're finding joy in saving more money or spending more money than saving? And you're going to have to do a little heart checking. You're going to have to do a little, a little introspection and figure out what it is that you're finding the joy in. And you're going to have to combat that thing, head on. And that's really where it starts. I'm going to give you some practical tips here in a minute, but that's really where it starts. And that's where the best laid plans that you've had previously in your life, that's where they've fallen apart. Is you haven't really dealt with the joy issue. If you've tried to lose weight, you know that you go really good for a month and then the wheels fall off. You stop going to the gym, you stop eating right. And the reason for that is you find more joy in eating the junk food than you do in eating healthy food. So the same concept applies with your money. You, for whatever reason, if being frugal doesn't come naturally to you for whatever reason find more joy in being pardon me, we just had somebody knock on the door. We've got to run over there and handle it. Sorry about that. But for whatever reason, if you're not frugal, you find more joy in spending money in the moment than you do in putting that money aside and saving it. So look at yourself and figure out what that is, what it is that gives you that charge. What is it that gives you that rush, that rush of endorphins that makes you feel good when you spend that money? What is it? And then, you've got to find more joy in the long term. You've got to combat that and find more joy and find a bigger rush in putting money aside or saving that money and or not buying the the Starbucks and having more money at the end of the week than you did at the start of the week. You know what I mean? So that's your first step. That's the first thing you've got to combat, and that's the first thing you've got to deal with on a heart level as opposed to just a pocketbook level. And I really believe that if you don't do this step first, that if you don't handle this issue first, then all the other things we're going to talk about are just going to fail. You're going to go really good for a little while, but then it's just going to fall apart because you're a joy-driven creature. You're going to go after your greatest joy. You're going to go after the things that's going to bring you the biggest rush in the moment. And if the biggest rush in the moment is spending your money and giving your money to someone else, rather than putting it in the savings account or whatever it is that you need to do with it, then these plans are going to fail. So let's move on to the next tip. The next tip is you've got to keep the end in mind. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know where you're heading, you'll never really know when you got there. So you need to have a goal. You need to have something that you're shooting for. Where do you want to be financially in a year? Where do you want to be financially in 5 years? You need to have a goal. You need to write that goal down. You need to figure out where you want to be and have it written down, something that you can look at every day, and just keep it solidified in your mind. So at the beginning of the year, actually, I guess at the end of the last year, I read a book that I thought was just really, really helpful. It was called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. So this book is, it gives you like 6 things to do in the morning before your day starts. Wake up a little earlier, and 6 things to do in the morning to kind of get your mind right and get your day going in the right direction. And one of the things is vision. I guess is, they all have these little tags or these little names, but one of them is vision. And just the idea is you envisioning who you want to be in a year, or who you want to be in 5 years or 10 years or 50 years or whatever. What is it? What are the goals that you're striving for? And instead of, there's times to go step by step and do what you need to do to get there. But the vision time is just for you to kind of see in your mind's eye the end result. So, and that's been very helpful to me as I've come into this new year, and I'm trying to lose weight, and I'm trying to save more money, and trying to keep my finances in order and all this other stuff. But just that time of spending a few minutes in silence and thinking about where I want to be at the end of the year, or who I want to be in 5 years, it's been very, very helpful to me to kind of keep those things kind of the center of my mind's eye, and have written down goals of where you want to be so that you know where you're headed. And, if you are not a natural saver and you don't have any money saved, your first goal needs to be very small. Your first goal needs to be $1,000 in the bank, or $500 in the bank. It's just something. There needs to be a written goal that you've got where you can start putting money aside and having a place where you want to go. If you don't have a goal in mind at the beginning, you're never really going to know, what it's going to take to get there. So begin with the end in mind, know where you're headed, and know what your goals are. The next step is create a system. Before you can figure out where your money should go, you need to know where it's going now. One of the most helpful things that I've ever done is track your money for 2 weeks or a month, whatever. You don't have to make any changes to how you're spending the money, but just track it. How much money is leaving your pocket every day or every month? How much money are you spending at Starbucks? How much money are you spending by buying your lunch at the fast food place every day? How much money are you spending, on all these little things that we don't think about, the gum and the Cokes and the these little things that you don't think about, but they are they're like little leeches. They take money from you little by little, and until you actually write down and see where that money is going, it's difficult to really know where to make cuts. It's really difficult to know where to make changes. And you'll be surprised. I really believe if you do this, you'll be surprised at the end of the month how much money you spend on, say, food, or how much money you spend on eating out, or how much money you spend on entertainment, or how much money you spend on, the different parts of your life. I think you'll be surprised, even if you're sitting here listening to this and going, I don't spend a dime more than I have to. I've got just enough money to survive. I really believe that if you track your money, you're gonna see things that you wouldn't see. You wouldn't have seen unless you did this. And you're going to be surprised. Even now, as frugal as Diane and I have become, where we really watch our, how much we're spending on different things, as I track my money through the month, it's always a little surprising to me how much we spend on different categories. Like there's still places that we could cut back, especially in our food category, because sometimes you go eat lunch or go out to a restaurant or something, and there should be areas in your budget for those kind of things, but it's always a little surprising to me how much money we spend on that. So there's going to be places where you can take a look at your budget, take a look at your income, take a look at where your money's going, and figure out where you can cut money back. And and then when you're creating a plan for your money, and then the next month, if you spend $150 eating out in 1 month, you and your family, maybe you make that budget $75 and you've got $75 that you can spend on eating out for the month. And when you hit that cap, you're done. You don't go out, eat out anymore. That you kind of have a plan for where things are going to go, and that's a place that you're going to make a cut. So find your joy, keep the end in mind, create a system. And the next thing is pay yourself first. So as your money comes in, you take a portion of it, maybe 5%, maybe 10%, something, and you take that money and you set it aside. And whatever bills you have to pay, whatever things you have to come up with, it comes out of the 95% of your money. You figure out how to make it work on the money that you have left. Because if you don't take that money out first, you're going to spend it because you're naturally a spender. It doesn't come naturally to you, right? So if you don't take that money out first and put it aside, it's always going to disappear and it's always going to evaporate. And you won't, a lot of times you won't even understand where it went. You'll just look at the end of the month and go, yeah, I wonder where that money went. I should have a couple $100 more at the end of the month than I do, but I don't. It's just gone, and I don't really understand what happened to it. I don't understand where it went. So take your money and set money aside for yourself right at the very beginning, and have that set aside, and that goes towards the goal that you created of, say, having $500 in the bank or $1,000 or whatever that goal is. That this is how you're going to reach that goal, is by paying yourself first and making your money go where it needs to go to begin with. Next up, create a routine. So this is where being frugal comes into play. If you're being frugal, if you're going to cut coupons, if you're going to meal plan so that you know how to, the things that you need to buy that are going to cost the least amount of money, you need to make a routine so that you can do the same thing every week and know what you're going to be spending your time on and where you're going to, have time set aside to be frugal. So, for instance, on Sundays, the new coupons come out on Sunday. Maybe your routine is you get up, you go to church, or you don't go to church, whatever you believe in, and then you go and buy your papers to get the coupons, and then you come home, eat lunch, clip the coupons that you want to clip, check out the ads for the week, look what the great deals are, and then maybe that's when you do your grocery shopping for the week to go get the best deals. But whatever that is, it's something that you do every week. So if you go grocery shopping on Tuesdays, that you go grocery shopping every Tuesday. That if Sunday's the day that you clip coupons, that you clip those coupons every Sunday. That it's this, that you've created a routine, and that that's the time that you have set aside to do the other stuff, to do the stuff you need to do. And then, if something else comes up, you don't have to, you can plan around it, because you know that for 2 hours on Sunday, that's your coupon clipping time or whatever it is. But you've got that time set aside. So make a routine, make a schedule, and then stick to it week after week, that this is the time. Because otherwise, if you don't have time set aside to clip coupons every week, you don't have time to check out ads every week, then you just go to the store when you have time and you spend, more money than you meant to, because you don't really know what's on sale. You don't really understand what the great deals are. And you don't have a meal plan. So you go to cooking on Tuesday night and you realize you're missing the ingredient, and you got to run back to the store and buy that again. And now you spent more time, more money, more energy, and because you just didn't create a routine. So make a routine that you're planning out, where you're gonna, how you're gonna save money for the week, how you're gonna get your grocery shopping done, how you're gonna do whatever it is that you need to do in order to in order to save the most amount of money each week. So get a routine. My next tip: keep money at the front of your mind. And the way that probably the easiest way to do that is, number one, just to do what you're doing right now, is listen to frugal podcasts. There are several of them out there, maybe budgeting podcasts, or maybe, money, frugal type podcast. I mean, there's a ton of them out there. You can probably do an iTunes search and find them. But even if they don't give you any new information, like I'm not, I don't think I've invented anything. This is just things I've picked up for, the last 10 years of being frugal in this podcast. But just you hearing these things and keeping them, in front of you, that you're being reminded of them every day or every week, that how important your money is, and how important it is to save your money, and how important it is to be frugal, and how important it is to clip the coupons, and how important it is to meal plan, and that you're just hearing these things over and over and over and over and over, that it's it's a way that it keeps it in the front of your mind, and it reminds you of how important these things are. So listen to Frugal Podcast, subscribe to Frugal websites like GroceryShopForFree.com, GroceryShopForFree@themart.com. We both have daily emails that you can get, and then you can kind of look through and see what all the great deals are. Create reminders on your phone. Every Sunday you get a reminder on your phone that it's time to clip coupons, whatever. That these things keep coming up, and they keep helping you to stay focused on what's important. It's one of the things you have to remember is that it's a lot easier to save $1 than it is to make $1 for most of us. Most of us, we make however much we make an hour, or, whatever our salary is. And, that's how much money we have to play with for the month. And it's a lot easier for us to take the money that we're already making and make cuts and to be able to save, the money that we're already making than it is to try to come up with ways to make more money, to get a second job. I mean, what would you rather do? Clip a few coupons and, cut some money out of your grocery budget or your entertainment budget, or get a second job? I know what I would rather do. I'd rather be frugal and save the money that I'm already making than to take on more work. That's for sure the way that I would rather do it. So remember that it's easier to save your money than it is to make money for most of us. And your situation may be different, but that's true for most of us. Now, I know as I've been struggling to lose weight, this idea has been very, very helpful for me. I have different podcasts that I listen to, and when I'm walking the dog and when I'm doing all the things that I have to do, I keep these things in my ear, and I keep, a lot of, they're not really teaching me anything new, but they're keeping it in the front of mind how important it is to eat healthy, how important it is to get regular exercise, how important it is to, to be able to think about your food before you put it in your mouth and make sure that you're eating the right stuff, and that you're buying healthy. These are the things that they're just constantly in my ear as I go about my life, and it makes it easier to keep the things that are important to me at the front of my mind. There are podcasts or websites that I read that have to do with eating sugar free. That's what I do, and some of the other things that are important to me, because I want to keep it right there at the front of my head. I don't want to slack off, and I don't want to get lazy. I want to keep what's important to me at the front. And so the same will work for money. If you're really focused on tackling your money and being frugal and putting money in savings, listen to these podcasts, subscribe to these websites, do the things that you need to do in order to be able to keep that at the front of your mind. And then finally, make it a family affair. Whatever's worth doing is worth doing in community. So if you've got a spouse, if you've got someone that you're sharing your life with, someone you're sharing your money with, schedule times for you and them to sit down, at maybe at the end of the month, where you review what you spent money on the month prior, and what the plan is for the coming month. And you kind of go over the budget, what much money you've got to spend on different things, and that you make a plan, and that exactly what it is that, where your money's going to go for the week or for the month to come. So get your family involved. If you got kids, get them involved. Put them on a budget. Tell them they've got X amount of dollars, and that's what they have to spend on whatever it is they want to spend. And, if they want more than that, then they have to do, extra work or something, they've got to earn it themselves. But make it a family affair. Get your family involved. Get them all together, that you're all on the same page and you're all working together to save money. So, it's not impossible. If being a saver, if being frugal doesn't come naturally to you, I mean, I feel your pain, because I'm in the same boat, but it's not impossible. You can do it. Just create your system. It's going to require a little self-discipline, but that's okay. Anything important requires self-discipline. Anything that's going to require you to change and get out of your normal routines is going to require self-discipline. This is where you go. This is how you do it. Get self-disciplined about your money, and create regular times that you sit down and check on your progress. How are you doing? You wanted to save $500 in your in a savings account. How you have $100? Do you have $50? Have you made any headway at all? You need to make sure that you have time to reevaluate where you are, and whatever changes that need to be made, they need to be made. So I hope that you found that helpful. And if you need support, if you need someone to cry to about not being frugal, please send me an email. You can find me at groceryshopforfree@themart.com. All my contact information is there. I will listen to your sob story, because I can guarantee that I have felt the same thing, because it does not come easy to me. It doesn't come naturally to me, but it can be done. You can do it. I promise you that you can do it. So, let's move on. Let's talk about this week's best deals. What are the deals of the week? First of all, let's take a look at Albertsons. Albertsons has a few really good deals. Bar S Franks These are normally about $1 a package at Walmart. Albertsons has them on sale this week for 79 cents a package. So you can get some hot dogs for 79 cents. Tide Simply Clean. So this deal is only good Friday through Sunday. It's their special 3-day weekend sale at Albertsons. Tide Simply Clean, the 25 use bucket, it's in the yellow jug or whatever, $1.99, which is half what Walmart's price is. So Walmart usually sells them for $3.97. So Albertsons is selling them for $1.99 this week, Friday through Sunday only. That's a really, really good deal. And then Totino's pizzas. These are normally between $1.40 and $1.50 at Walmart. You can price match Albertsons price at 79 cents each. That's a pretty good deal on frozen pizzas. Kroger has some really good sales. In fact, you should definitely, if you are around a Kroger, you should definitely take a look through the ads, because I'm just going to hit the highlights here, but there are some really, really good deals. First up, General Mills or Kellogg's cereal, the 9 to 15 ounce varieties, $1.49 a box, and you can price match the heck out of that at Walmart. $1.49 a box, and there are a ton of 50 cent off coupons. There's a 50 cent off Saving Star rebate for a couple different varieties. So it's going to be very possible for people to get 50 cent boxes of cereal this week. Fantastic deal. Hormel chili, normally about $1.50 a can at Walmart. Kroger has them on sale this week for 99 cents a can, and there are a couple 55 cent off 2 coupons that you can have access to. Makes them 72 cents a can. Excellent deal. Skinner pasta, normally this is about $1 a box. Kroger has them on sale this week for 49 cents a box. That's half price pasta. Sun detergent, 99 cents a bottle. Walmart does sell that, so you can price match it at Walmart, or of course you can pick it up at Kroger. And then Community Coffee. Man, Community Coffee has just, it's gotten cheap. $3.99 a bag at Kroger, and there are always coupons available for Kroger. In fact, it's gotten to the point where if you pay more than $2.50 a bag for coffee, then you're probably spending too much. It's just coffee's gotten really, really cheap, which is great because I love coffee, and it used to be very expensive. Safeway, your local Safeway store, C&H Sugar, the 4-pound bags, $1.88 a bag. That's a great deal in sugar. Chicken of the Sea and Bumblebee Chunk Light Tuna, they've got the 5-ounce cans on sale for 79 cents. It's not as good as the 50-cent deal that we had last week, I believe at Albertsons, but still 79 cents for the 5-ounce cans of tuna is not bad. So that's it for this week's deals. We've updated the freebies list. You can go over to Grocery Shop for Free at themart.com. Actually, don't do that. Go to grocershopforfree.com/podcast, and the link to the freebies will be in the show notes for this show. But we've got several freebies at Walmart, as well as some with overage, so you can actually make money on a couple deals. The Ibotta matchups have been updated, so I'll put a link to those in the show notes as well. Ibotta I love that app. It's my favorite app. I use it almost every time I go to the store, and they always have fantastic deals. So I've created a post of just all of the Ibotta matchups for you to look at. And there are some really, really good deals. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes. And if you would like to follow along with me as I try to lose weight and cut sugar out of my diet, I have a site, mysugarfreejourney.com. You can come over there, subscribe to that daily email. I try to post something every day, lots of recipes and lots of just kind of me talking about what it's like to cut sugar out of your diet. So come follow me over there, mysugarfreejourney.com. So that link to that and link to everything else that we mentioned, as well as any notes that we take for the podcast, can be found at groceryshopforfree.com/podcast. Please remember to subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher, and you can do that by going to groceryshopforfree.com/iTunes or /Stitcher. We would absolutely love for you to subscribe to us and to leave us a review. I appreciate you guys listening, and we will talk to you all next week. God bless.